Beautiful beaches, friendly people, and amazing wildlife. That's the Australia everyone talks about. But behind the postcard image lies a much darker side. Deadly spiders, invisible killers in the ocean, giant crocodiles, and heat so extreme it can literally kill you. So today we're diving into 13 terrifying facts about Australia that might make you think twice before even visiting. Let me start with something that sounds like pure nightmare fuel: spiders. Not just any spiders, but some of the most dangerous ones on the planet. And yeah, they live in Australia. So imagine this: you're in Sydney, just chilling, maybe walking through a garden or even just sitting at home. Everything feels normal, but somewhere nearby there could be a Sydney funnel web spider, one of the most venomous spiders in the world. And the scary part, these guys are not small. They are big, dark, aggressive, and unlike most spiders that try to run away, these can actually stand their ground and attack. Their fangs are strong enough to bite through a fingernail. Not kidding. Now here's where it gets even more intense. Their venom affects the human nervous system very quickly. Before anti-venom was developed in the 1980s, bites could be fatal, sometimes in under an hour. And it's not just one species. Australia is full of spiders like the redback, which lives hidden in a place like outdoor toilets, garages, or under furniture. Basically, places you wouldn't think twice about. The weird thing is, Australians are kinda used to it. They check their shoes before putting them on. They shake out towels. It's just part of daily life. But for some visiting, yeah, the idea that a potentially deadly spider could be hidden in your house is enough to keep you awake at night. Alright, now let's go to the beach. Sounds relaxing, right? Blue water, sunshine, perfect vacation vibes. Except in Australia, the ocean can be just as dangerous as the land. There's a creature called the box jellyfish, and it's often described as the most venomous marine animal on Earth. The terrifying part, you probably wouldn't even see it. It's almost completely transparent. So you could be swimming, enjoying the water, and suddenly you brush against something you didn't even know was there. Its tentacles are covered in millions of tiny cells that inject venom instantly. This venom can attack the heart, skin, and nervous system all at once. Some people go onto cardiac arrest within minutes. And then there's something even creepier: the Irukandji jellyfish. It's tiny, like really tiny. You might not even feel the stun at first, but soon after, people experience something called Irukandji syndrome. Intense, overwhelming pain, nausea, panic, even a feeling of impending doom. That's literally how it's described. Beaches in northern Australia actually put up warning signs and sometimes close completely during jellyfish season. Lifeguards wear full body suits when they go into the water. So yeah, the ocean looks beautiful, but sometimes it's hidden things you can't see, and that's what makes it so unsettling. Now let's talk about something big, really big. Saltwater crocodiles. These are not your average reptiles. These are the largest living reptiles on Earth, and in Australia they're absolutely at the top of the food chain. A big male can reach up to 6 or even 7 meters long. That's basically the size of a small car. And they are incredibly powerful. Their bite force is one of the strongest in the animal kingdom. But what really makes them scary is how they hunt. They don't chase, they wait. A crocodile can stay completely still in the water with just its eyes and nostrils above the surface. You wouldn't even notice it. And then, in a split second, it explodes out of the water. No warning, no time to react. And here's the thing, they don't just live in remote rivers. In northern Australia they can be found in estuaries, mangroves, and sometimes even near popular fishing or camping spots. There are signs everywhere that literally say things like "do not enter the water", and people take these signs very seriously. Because crocodiles don't see humans as something special. To them, you're just another animal at the water's edge. Alright, so we've talked about what's on land and what's kind of invisible in the water. Now let's talk about something everyone already fears: sharks. Because yeah, Australia is one of the places where your chances of encountering a shark are actually real. Especially species like the great white shark, tiger sharks, and bull sharks. These ain't small, harmless creatures, these are apex predators. Now, to be fair, sharks attacks are rare, but here's the thing, they do happen, and when they do, they tend to be serious. Picture this, you're surfing or just swimming not that far from the shore. The water looks calm, people are around, everything feels safe. But below you have no visibility. Sharks don't need to see you perfectly. Sometimes they investigate with a test bite, and unfortunately for a human, even a test bite from a great white shark can be devastating. What makes Australia a hotspot is the combination of warm waters, lot of marine life, and popular surfing culture. Places like Western Australia and South Australia had multiple recorded encounters. That's why you'll often see shark warning signs, aerial patrols, even drones scanning the water. Some beaches install shark nets or drum lines, basically system designed to reduce the risk. But even those ain't 100% effective. And here's the unsettling part, the ocean is their territory, not ours. So every time you step into the water there's always that tiny voice in the back of your head. What else is out here with me? Now let's go back on land, but honestly, that might not feel any safer. Australia is home to a huge number of snake species, and many of them are highly venomous. In fact, several of the most venomous snakes in the world live here. One of them is the inland taipan, often called the most venomous snake on Earth. Its venom is strong enough to kill dozens of humans with a single bite. Sounds insane, right? The good news is it lives in remote areas, so people rarely encounter it, but that doesn't mean you're in the clear, because then you had the eastern brown snake, and this one does live close to people, farms, suburbs, even near cities, and it's responsible for more snake bites deaths in Australia than any other species. These snakes are fast, alert, and can become defensive if they feel threatened, and the tricky part is, they can be hard to spot. Their color blends in with dry grass and dirt perfectly, so you could literally be walking somewhere and not even realize one is nearby. There are also tiger snakes, there's others. The list goes on. Now again, Australians are used to it. They know to watch where they step, especially in rural areas. They don't just walk through tall grass without thinking. But for some visiting, the idea that a deadly snake could be just a few steps away and you wouldn't even notice, that's a different level of tension. Okay, this one is less about danger and more about pure atmosphere, because imagine looking up at the sky at sunset and instead of birds you see hundreds, sometimes thousands of massive balls flying overhead. Welcome to Australia. These are called flying foxes, and they are basically giant fruit bats. Their wingspan can reach up to 1.5 meters. That's not a small animal, that's something that looks like it belongs in a fantasy movie. During the day they hang in huge colonies in trees, sometimes right in cities. You'll see entire trees covered in them, all wrapped up in their wings. And then, at dusk, they all take off. At the same time, the sky literally fills with them. Now they're not aggressive, and they mostly eat fruit and nectar, but they can carry diseases, so people are warned not to touch them. Also, they can be loud and messy. Entire areas under their colonies can get covered in droppings. There have even been cases where heatwaves caused thousands of them to die at once, just falling from trees. Which, yeah, is as disturbing as it sounds. So while they're not exactly haunting you or anything, there is just something deeply unsettling about being surrounded by huge, winged creatures that only come alive when the sun goes down. Okay, so we already talked about dangerous spiders, but now imagine this. They're not just out there somewhere in the wild. They're inside your house. And in Australia that's actually normal. There's a spider called the huntsman spider, and while it's not considered deadly, it's huge, like really huge. Its legs can stretch out wider than your hand. Now picture this, you walk into your bathroom at night, turn on the light, and there it is, just sitting on the wall, not moving, just watching. Or even worse, you're driving your car, minding your own business, and suddenly one crawls out from behind the sun visor. Yeah, that happens. And the scariest part, they're fast. Extremely fast. If they decide to move, they don't slowly crawl away. They bolt. People have literally panicked and lost control of their cars because of this. Now, to be fair, huntsman spiders are actually helpful. They eat insects and don't usually bite humans unless provoked. But logic doesn't really help when something that big is suddenly right next to you. Australians learn to just accept it. Some even name them. But if you're not used to sharing your living space with giant spiders, sleeping might become a little more difficult. Now let's talk about something on a completely different scale. Wildfires. Australia experiences some of the most intense bushfires in the world, and these ain't just small forest fires. We're talking about massive, uncontrollable events that can stretch for hundreds of kilometers. During extreme fire seasons, the heat, wind, and dry vegetation combine into something almost apocalyptic. There have been moments where entire skies turn deep red or orange in the middle of the day. Imagine waking up, looking outside, and it feels like you're on another planet. The air becomes thick with smoke, ash falls like snow, and the fires move fast, sometimes too fast to outrun. In the 2019-2020 bushfire season, often called the Black Summer, millions of hectares of land were burned, thousands of homes were destroyed, entire ecosystems were devastated, even cities far away from the fires were affected by smoke. And what makes it worse is that Australia's climate, hot, dry and often windy, creates perfect conditions for these fires to spread. Firefighters do incredible work, but sometimes nature just becomes too powerful. It's not just dangerous, it's overwhelming. And when you see footage of those red skies and burning forests, it really does feel like the end of the world. Now this one might sound almost funny at first. Ants? Really? Yeah, not these ants. Australia has species like the bull ant, and these are not the tiny, harmless insects you're used to ignoring. They are big, aggressive, and they don't hesitate to defend their territory. If you got too close to their nest, they won't just scatter, they'll come at you. And they don't just bite, they can sting too. The pain is sharp and intense, and for some people it can cause serious allergic reactions. There are even reports of people needing medical attention after multiple stings. Now imagine walking through nature, maybe not paying too much attention, and suddenly you feel a sharp pain on your leg, then another, then more. You look down, and there they are. It escalates quickly. Locals know to stay alert, especially in bushland, but if you're not used to it, it's easy to accidentally step right into their territory. And what makes it worse is how fearless they are. They don't care how big you are. To them, you're just another threat to deal with. Okay, this one is honestly one of the creepiest, because it's not about something big and obvious, it's about something tiny. There's a creature called the blue-ringed octopus. It's small, about the size of a golf ball. Looks kinda beautiful actually, with these glowing blue rings that appear when it feels threatened. But here's the problem. Its venom is powerful enough to kill a human in minutes, and there's no widely available anti-venom. The scariest part, you might not even feel it at first. The bite is often painless, but then the symptoms starts, paralysis, difficulty breathing, and if help doesn't arrive in time, it can be fatal. And it's not alone. Australia's waters are full of other dangerous creatures, like the stonefish, which looks exactly like a rock and injects venom if you step on it, or corn snails, which can fire a tiny harpoon like sting. So you could be walking in shallow water, thinking everything is fine, and step on something you don't even realize was alive. That's what makes it so unsettling. Not what you see, but what you don't. Thank you for watching. Text and comment which fact scared you the most, and see you next video. Bye bye.